Gru is back. Steve Carell returns for a new Despicable Me movie. This is actually the sixth movie overall in the series when you count the two Minions movies. But let's talk about Despicable Me 4. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new film Despicable Me 4. This is doing gangbuster numbers in the theaters right now. A lot of people wanting to see this. And we have, like I said, Steve Carell returning. Kristen Wiig is back. A lot of the mainstays for this series return. But we also have a couple of newcomers that you will know. Will Ferrell and Sofia Vergara among them. They play the villains of the picture. So before we launch into the specifics, though, of this movie, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We do movie and TV reviews here on the channel, and just about every day I post something new. So there's always a lot to check out. You can look at the playlist on the homepage as well for, movie reviews, TV reviews, and they're separated by year as well to help you out. Some of my specialty reviews are in playlists as well. So please consider subscribing, click that like button, comment below. All that stuff, of course, helps the channel out. All right, so Despicable Me 4. Let's talk, I guess, about the franchise as a whole. I am sort of a fan of this franchise. I like a lot of the things about it. That first movie, Despicable Me 1, was great. One of the best animated films of the year. And it's funny because it came out just a few months away from Megamind, which Will Ferrell was the star of. So it's funny that he appears in this. But they both had that sort of, megamaniacal villain at the center. And Megamind, it's a fine movie. I don't really think it gets talked about very much, but I enjoyed, when I saw it. But Despicable Me, I think because of the Minions, has just sort of been going and going and going. And I think with this installment, I read that it is the highest grossing animated series of all time in terms of film. I guess beating maybe Shrek. But in any event, people love the Minions specifically, and you can put me not in that camp. I find the Minions very annoying. I think they're fine in small doses. They're, cute in those first couple movies. Then when they started branching off into their own movies, it was too much for me, for sure. So, they are toned down a little bit here because there's another Minions movie coming out. So I think they wanted to kind of not necessarily put them on the back burner. They certainly have a lot of bits here. In fact, we're introduced to the Mega Minions here. 5 of the Minions get volunteered to be part of this new project, and they turn into Mega Minions, each with their own distinctive superpowers. So now we're going to make Minions, I guess, superhero movie. I don't know, whatever. But the main plot of this one, anyway, is that Gru and his family, including their brand new baby, who doesn't really like Gru very much, that's sort of a recurring joke, they get moved into a safe house, into basically witness protection, to kind of save them from these villains played by Will Ferrell and Sofia Vergara. And we learn the background that Gru and the Will Ferrell character went to this villain high school together, and so they have sort of a history there. And it sort of goes from there. There's also a side plot with the neighbors and the neighbor's daughter, who wants to be a supervillain as well. She's voiced by Joey King, I believe. So anyway, that's the basic conceit. And Chris Renaud directed this, and he directed the first and second installments. He actually has worked a lot with Illumination, because I think he directed both of the Secret Life of Pets movies as well. And you also have, of course, Pierre Coffin back as the voice of the Minions. I think he kind of created the Minions, and that's why he does the voice for them. But so he's back, of course, doing all of that. So, all right, enough of the plot and stuff. Let's talk about this movie in real terms. I think it is wise to maybe move the Minions to more of, side characters, because, of course, we do have those Minions movies where they are front and center, and Gru usually isn't even in those. So, I don't know where the next one is going to take us. The last Minions movie took place in the 70s, so I don't know if it's a continuation of that, or if it's going to be present day and we're going to have the Mega Minions. Don't know, and we'll find out about that in about a year's time. But I really like... Here's the thing I like about the Minions, is that because they are mostly nonverbal, it gives the writers and the directors a lot of opportunities to do these visual gags that I think we don't necessarily see a lot of anymore in animated movies. And I think part of that is, maybe people know, okay, people are watching the movie while they're, doing something. They're on their phone, they're on their iPad, they're, whatever they're doing. And maybe paying attention to the plot and the words and stuff. But the Minions offer this franchise to do a lot of visual gags, and they take full advantage of that here in Despicable Me 4. There's an ongoing joke. One of the Minions gets stuck somewhere. I won't even say where for, spoiler territory. But it turns into a very funny running gag. And I think that's where the Minions shine the most. When they try to give them too much dialogue or too many things to do. No, the visual gags, like the Minions act almost as a silent movie at times, and I think that is where they're in the sweet spot. So that, I think worked in this, but the plot, is very basic. We've seen it 100 times. Gru is funny, and there's some funny moments, but a lot like, maybe the third installment of Despicable Me, which relied heavily on 80s humor. It was one of the guys from South Park. I think it was Trey Stone, but was it Trey Parker? I confused it. I think it was Trey Parker, but I could be wrong. But anyway, he played like this child star in the 80s, grew up, wasn't cute anymore, but was kind of stuck in the 80s. So there was a lot of like 80s motif there. And here, because they went to high school together, we get some flashbacks again to the 80s. So they're still kind of milking that territory a little bit. And, the villains are fine. Will Ferrell's just kind of being Will Ferrell. Sofia Vergara is fine. There's nothing necessarily that stands out about this movie against some of the other stuff in the franchise. And when you're getting to the 6th movie of the franchise, you're going to feel a little bit of that fatigue. They introduced the baby, but didn't really do much with it. Yes, part of the plot involves the villains trying to steal the baby. So, towards the end, we see a little more with that. But, especially when they really push that baby front and center for the promos, we didn't really get a lot of time with the baby in the film. And then the 3 girls as well. We saw a little bit with them. They didn't really want to move, and they didn't want to change their names. And, well, to varying degrees, I guess. Some were okay with it. But we didn't maybe spend as much time with them either, because it's mostly about Gru and his new neighbor, this teenage girl that wants to be a supervillain. So, look, this movie's a little all over the place, but is it funny? Yes, definitely has some humor in parts. It ends with a dance number, which, is the, Illumination specialty, I feel like. I think that started in the DreamWorks camp with some of the Shrek movies. But, a lot of these Despicable Me movies, a lot of the Illumination movies overall, end with some kind of a dance scene or a party scene. And it's like, we don't know how to wrap up the story, so let's just have a dance scene. And this one, it's kind of cool because it brings out all the villains of the other movies. All right, that's, a nice little touch. Oh, look, there's, Scarlet Overkill, and there's, whoever. But I don't know. I mean, is that the right way to end a movie? I think it's a bit lazy. So, look, overall, this was a mixed bag. I do think it's way better than the last Minions movie. It's probably on par for me with, maybe Despicable Me 2 and 3, kind of in that slightly positive range, but only slightly. So I will leave Despicable Me 4 with a C+. You can see this in theaters now, and soon probably on Peacock, as they own the Universal, rights. But all right, thank you for watching Dan Reviews It. I'll see you next time.